Welcome, world. This is Alexander Playtime Williams from PlaytimeCares.com. I got off work too late to decide that I wanted to watch Empire. Die but once, who am I? The Empire season finale. My goodness. I'm gonna try not to give a long recap this week, but oh boy, I have to admit, the writing was really good on this episode. I'm still not going to watch the other episodes. I'm still not going to do it. I refuse to go back and get rehooked into all of this. But I have to admit, just in my third week of watching it, I can see why everybody's been watching this from episode one. So this episode started off with Lucius playing on the piano. His vision started going blurry, and he can't continue his stuff. And he goes back to a flashback of when he was younger and he wasn't able to complete songs. And Cookie would just come right away, and she'd be like, "Oh, baby, you probably need to just do this, this, and this," and then it'll make complete sense, and he'll get the song completed. So of course he's thinking, I need to get back to what was working for me. I need Cookie. So he asks Becky, what's up with Cookie? Becky like, look, she out of town. He doesn't know that she's out of town with Malcolm. So he needed Cookie because he's dealing with his ALS. He's just pretty much shook. This is a tribute concert. He like, well, heck, this is gonna be my last hurrah. I need it to be just the most fire thing ever. So I need Cookie to make sure this is the best possible event. So he's definitely, he's just bugging at this point. He need Cookie. So of course, everybody want to know what is Cookie doing. Malcolm drive her over to a nice little snow-covered cabin in the middle of the woods. Perfect for any horror movie, really. But it's romantic until that guy with the chainsaw pops out and try to kill you. But that's neither here nor there. That's not Empire. I'm sorry. Um, you drive us over there, and she's like, "Oh, this is beautiful. Let's get inside because it's cold. It's snow out there. I'm from the south. I don't like all that, but that's neither here nor there as well." So Cookie is working on the production. She's like, "Oh man, I got all the people. Everybody wants to be a part of this." Malcolm like, "Look, you need to stop working. You need to chill a little bit." So Cookie reveals to Malcolm that Lucia's been the only person that she's ever been with. So Malcolm went with a smooth line. What's he saying? Something like, "I'll take it as fast as you want because you in charge." So she started taking off his clothes. You know what I'm saying? So Cookie milked Malcolm. She milked him. So I mean, now she down with two folks. It is what it is. I mean, they divorced and whatnot, and she's free to do what she want to do. Um, so that was interesting. So Jamal is actually doing his record release. His album blowing up is hot, so everybody wants his signature, and he's getting a lot of props from the gay community about coming out and how that's caused just regular gay folks, not the famous gay folks, to get the strength and the courage to come out to their people as well. So that was well received. Um, Another thing was that was integral is Malcolm did let Cookie know that Hakeem's girlfriend didn't take the money. So she already have her mind made up about Lucius just being a person that's going to be conniving no matter what. So that's not adding any credence to his name whatsoever. His credibility just getting shot more and more. So let's see what else happened. So he told her about the money. She talking about that she wished that he would just drop dead so it could be a memorial concert. They'll make even more money. So I mean, man, it's kind of rough being Lucius. Um, Snoop Dogg, he was announced to actually work with Lions Records. I mean, he's part of the squad, so they giving they giving a interview, and he's talking about the reason he hooked up with them is because they giving him the profit sharing and stuff like that, and he was just really being good, and then Lucius took over, and he was like, look. You know what? I'm gonna deliver a new sound at my concert, and it's gonna be off the chain. That sound will be so tight to where I'm gonna be a god. So while he's reveling in that concept of being immortal, because he feels as though he's gonna die, he need that new sound to carry his life on to the next plane. Beretti serves him with papers, let them know that you can't do what you're doing because I own some of your material and the rights to some of your originals. So of course that's a problem. So Snoop gives a little performance at the little private function and whatnot, and he invite Hakeem up on stage. Well, Hakeem get on stage, he kick a freestyle, pretty much letting them know that he disappointed in his dad and that his dad couldn't keep the family together. And not only could he not keep the family together, but he actually also got his ex old lady. He let him know, look, I'm banging Anika, so, which is that's real nasty, bro. That's nasty. Say, bro, I don't know. It ain't no fun unless my homies have done. But man, my daddy. Say, bro, that's some old some crazy Oedipus. Say, no, bro, that's nasty, bro. But never mind. I'm gonna get off that tangent. So once he get off stage, everybody like, ooh, he sit there and said that he bumped past his dad. Well, his dad called him back, yo, Hakeem. And then he was like, Zagara! Pop! Popped him. That's parenting 101. I'm gonna knock you on your behind and bust your mouth if you disrespect me. So he just punched him in his face. And I'm like, my goodness. I mean, but you want to man up and be that disrespectful to your dad, well, you gonna get you're gonna get got. That's how it works. You can't. Hey, kids, if you're watching this, never be disrespectful to your parents. Honor your parents, because they will punch you in the face sometimes. I'm just saying. So Jamal was talking to Hakeem, and Hakeem was trying to convince Jamal that he should hate him, and Jamal was actually taking a very mature approach. It's like, look, all of the stuff that Dad put us through, all the stuff Dad put me through personally, I don't hate him. I love my dad. You should too. Very mature, very mature. Yeah, but Akeem is like, the heck with that. I'm gonna go independent, and I'm leaving the label. So um, Lucius is still trying to find out what Cookie is, and one of the workers end up letting them know that she was at some place, and it sparked a memory with him. So he wasn't a fool. He was like, "Oh, she there? Okay, I know what she's doing. I know what that's about." So while he's kind of disgusted about that, Andre is realizing that he can't really focus in at work. So he went and found Michelle, his therapist, and let her know that he wasn't able to get back to work. So she was like, "Hey, I know what to do." Made the dude go pray. Seemed to be really working with him. So Cookie shows up at Empire with her friend, or maybe it was a sister or something, Carol. And keep in mind, I haven't watched all of the other episodes, so I don't know who she really is, but Carol. And she tried to badge in security, they do that little side thing like, so they did that, and they went and caught Cookie, and it's like, look, you're not allowed in. And Lucius came out and was like, look, you want to go ahead and you want to go be sleeping around and all that type of stuff. Well, all of your access is pretty much denied. So she pretty much said some foul stuff on his life, wishing some death upon him, because she was like, how dare you, out of all people, be upset about me sleeping with somebody? But I mean, it is what it is. So what else happened? Malcolm asked Cookie to come with him to DC because he had a job that was offered to him before he took the job with Lucius. But of course, she was like, "Nah, you're a sweet man, but you know, I can't do this. I built this company. I'm not gonna just leave it." Then she touched him with that color purple hand, to his face. You a sweet man. Touched his face with that, one of those type of hands. So I mean, that was pretty cool. But I mean, Malcolm, he didn't get fired, but he was gonna get fired. Whether it was gonna be a firing squad or getting his butt kicked, he was gonna get fired one way or the other. You can't just go ahead and smash the boss's main squeeze, even if he not squeezing, but just one. Those, well, whatever. That don't matter. That don't matter. So let's see. Andre. Andre got back in the game and he met with Lucius to let him know that he needed to find a new CFO and that he always had a void, and that void is finally getting filled by God. So of course that irritated Lucius because he like, where this come from? And that's happened always in life. When you try to turn over a new leaf, people often will remind you of the old you. You just got to stay the course and keep your faith. So Andre was like, "Look, man, I'm going to church. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna build that up because that's what's making me happy. That's what's fulfilling me." So of course, Lucius was discussing about that. So um, Lucius ended up finding Jamal at the church and trying to convince him to talk. And then he heard Michelle singing. And he was like, "Well, I'm gonna show you that I'm more powerful than God." And he offers her out a contract, which of course she accepted because he said he wanted to start a new gospel division. And because of Andre knowing who his dad is, he pretty much told her, "Hey, you sleeping with the devil now. You shouldn't have accepted that contract," which was an interesting concept. But I mean, that's neither here nor there either. So uh, Lucius ended up finding Jamal and telling him that he do believe that he's the future of the company. But he was letting him know that he has writer block, and he can't. He used to do stuff with his mom to get past it. So Jamal had a really interesting concept. He said, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you back to the old crib. I got the keys from Carol. I'm gonna take you back to the old crib, and that's gonna help you." So what they start doing is just really trading jabs back and forth. Discuss his son with intolerant father, discussing father with homosexual son. They traded jabs back and forth, but ultimately they uh they ended up making a really nice song. I was in there singing stuff. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. I was in there singing some stuff too. So that was really cool to hear how the song went. And let's see, what is Lucius let Jamal know, "Look, I do have faith in you taking over this company, but you're gonna have to prove that you got that drive, that inner lion. You let it roar, go ahead and to take this company back. I need you to be able to go to Beretti and get my masters back." So Jamal went over to Beretti's thing, told Beretti, "Look, I need to talk to you outside." And Jamal went crazy. This dude took Beretti and held him over the balcony, several stories up. Dude was tripping. And Lucius go over there to go see what Jamal doing. He like, "Look, Dad, you need to turn away. Go get Hakeem, and just don't worry about me." So Lucius left, and Jamal was like, "Look, Beretti, I'm gonna throw you off this if you don't sign over those master copies." Well, guess he did. But when Lucius went and found Hakeem, he found Hakeem knocking down a Nika. I said, "Oh, that's so nasty. A Nika, bro, what you doing? That's nasty." I said, "How you bang the father and son? You get worms like that. You can't, no, no, that's nasty." Oh, that's so freaking nasty to me. I don't know why. So, next thing you know, Lucius um, told his nurse that he had, double vision, and the nurse decided that that wasn't a symptom of ALS. So they researched it, and then they found out he didn't have ALS. They say he had something like NG, so it's bad, but it's something that's treatable. So he Of course, he was excited. You saw him; he almost turned into a super saiyan. He was, his energy bubbled up. So, so, so let's see what happened. So Lucius decided to go to church and talk to Andre again. No, 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 they didn't do that. I did that out of order. No, what happened is that Lucius ended up actually getting treated for his thing. They put all kind of stuff in him. They told him, look, all your treatment's gonna cause insomnia. And because it caused insomnia, they gave him sleep aids. It's like, well, make sure you take it right when you want to go to sleep. Lucius like, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep now. So he popped a couple in there, boom. Well, Cookie comes in and like, look, I sent your nurse away. One of the side effects about the medicine is that you start talking in your sleep. So I mean, Lucius started seeing visions of the dude he killed. It made sense now how why his son said he was a murderer 3 episodes ago, and he started revealing stuff that he killed Bucky, and that he started saying all kind of stuff in his sleep. So of course, Cookie is just like, oh my goodness, I don't believe that he did that. So while one of the interesting things was that they decided to have Jennifer Hudson singing all of these little songs and whatnot. And while she's singing this church song, you had Jamal that decided to celebrate his, whatever, and decided to have sex on his dad's desk. I don't know what it is with them and wanting to, do stuff that involve their parents in some form or fashion. That's kind of that's nasty, the whole parental thing. And let's see. So Jamal did the sex thing on the desk. Um, what else? He was sitting there chilling with Anika, and Andre is disgusted that that Michelle decided to actually sign a contract. And then you look and Cookie has a pillow and she over there just creeping up on him, and she ended up deciding not to smother him. So Lucius decided, okay, time to let the cat out the bag. So the next scene, they have him with some boxes on the table with everybody's names on it. So his sons show up. He tell him, look, I don't have ALS. I'm gonna live. It's a miracle. Open up your box. He give he gives Hakeem pretty much a private jet. He's like, look, you don't need to let anybody ever hold you down. Whatever, whatever. Here go a fly jet. Be free. I know Creflo Dollar like, oh man, this sinner, here, I'm doing all this good. And here, I asked for one jet, and here, he get a jet. Here, you doing all this in, and I'm trying to live right. And then um, Andre opened up his box, and what did he have in his box? He had the cross of David, I believe he said it was. Cross of somebody. It was a cross, to represent his newfound faith and things of that nature. And he put 100 million into a foundation that Andre can start up. That would be awesome. Hey, somebody give playtimecares.com and .org, specifically the .org, $100 million. I promise I do real good with the money. I promise you. And then he gave Jamal the scepter, which was, a scepter with a lion's head on it, which was representative of the fact that he actually did earn the company. And then Cookie comes in and he lets her know that he's not dying, which he revealed already when he was asleep and, talking in his sleep. So she already knew that. So she had to say, oh, what? So that's a miracle. Hallelujah. So she faked that off. And then she opened up her box and there was a pillow. Oh, you already know. So you go to the sons having a discussion, now that Jamal is the guy. And they pretty much played the dozens with him, and he proved to his brothers, Jamal proved to his brothers that yes, he is ready to take the reins and actually run the companies based off of the stuff that they said to him and the verbiage that he shot back. And then Jamal was walking and talking with his mom and his dad, Cookie and Lucius, and was like, okay, these are my plans, play A, B, C. And Lucius was like, hold up, can't do plan B because it involved your mom. And he's like, hey, that's part of the agreement. He said, yeah, that was before she tried to kill me. Boy, you tripping. You know your father crazy. Then he revealed that Malcolm placed all video cameras in every room for him before he left. And then he showed that footage. So, that kind of shook Jamal a little bit. So, Cookie got escorted away from the building once again. So, let's see, what happened after that? What happened after that? Jamal, one thing that I thought was hilarious, Jamal promoted Becky to the head of A&R, and Hakeem asked Becky, it's like, Becky, why are you a black girl and your name is Becky? Becky was like, hey, my mom white. Hilarious because of, I guess that was kind of a shout out to the reason why that you can have Reggie and Olivia in that whole scenario and the kid not actually be hers because, she had a baby with Lucius and they was both light skinned and the kid ended up dark skinned. So I guess that was kind of covering that up. At least that's how I took it. And it was just a great and well timed joke anyway. So let's see what else he say. Uh well when Cookie actually got kicked out the when she got kicked out of the office again, and I know this video is getting long. When she got kicked out the office again, she got dragged into a car. I didn't know who that was. I mean, maybe that was revealed in the other episodes too. I have no idea who that was. She just got essentially kidnapped. So then Lucius ended up going to the rehab center and getting out Vernon, his lawyer friend dude that he had slammed an episode or two ago, and saying, "Look, I need you to look after Cookie." And they show where Cookie's at, and she's actually with some FBI agents. He was some special agents. They pretty much saying that one of the guys that I think his name was Shine that Lucius mentioned while he was in under the influence of the sleep aid, um, ratted out Lucius and said that he had killed Bucky, and they needed Cookie's testimony to corroborate the story. She was like, "Man, I ain't no rat. I'm gone." So I mean, that was pretty cool. So you went. I mean, it's cool because you got 17 years in prison on loyalty. Then you have all of these bad dynamics and stuff, but yet you're still loyal to your spouse no matter what. That's that is a real example of some real love there. Real stupidity or love of stupidity. Well, I don't know, but it's really something. I don't know. So you have Anika talking to Hakeem about a hostile takeover and saying in order for it to do it, you have to actually get your brother on board. You have to get um, Andre on board. So they fast forward to the press conference, and hey, that's the first thing that Hakeem approached his brother about. And his brother's like, "Look, just be happy for Jamal." So they're at the press conference, and they bring up Anita Baker, and she threw in the hashtag Black Lives Matter. Interesting. And while they were introducing, essentially Jamal being the new face of the company, one of the hip hop rappers came over and said, "Look, man, I'm not going to be on your label. You having a pretty much a fairy or whatever he called them, Bati boy, or he threw a island term on that boy as the head of the company." So they ended up kicking him out, and it was pretty cool. He said he was disrespecting hip hop. That was interesting. So Cookie ended up talking with Hakeem and was letting them know that they could actually start a new company. They didn't have to do all of the other stuff. That they could actually start a company. But Hakeem let Cookie know, hey, we don't have to do that at all. We have resources. So while while they're talking about that, Andre comes home and his wife leaving him. It's another, just another blow to him. But you know what? He said, look, one of the things that she mentioned is that he just gave up the company without even fighting Jamal for it, even though he put in all of that work. He still is the chief financial officer, the CFO, but I mean, she wanted him to fight. fight for more. So he ended up calling Hakeem and was like, look, let's go ahead and do it. Let's do the hostile takeover, which meant that Anika was talking to Hakeem, Cookie talking to Hakeem, and then you got Andre. They needed to work together. Well, that didn't work out. While Andre and Hakeem talking, Cookie and Anika talking, and Smack Talk led to drink in the face, palm in the face from Cookie to Anika. Then they started tussling, ba ba ba. Long story short, Nika, she messing with somebody that got 17 years in the pen. I mean, she was getting choked out. It was a good thing the Suns went ahead and separated them. That was bad. So they end up saying that they had to get this other guy that specialized in takeovers. And was a like tricky trickster or something like that, and let him know that that he would be the person that they would need to go to. Before that happened, Jamal had to confront Black Rambo. That was the guy that went and disrespect him during the press conference, and Black Rambo was doing a freestyle battle in the club, killing people. Then Andre got up on stage. He made a whole bunch of crude homosexuality remarks, but out this and all that. And then Andre sung a song to him, letting him know that, look, we sin differently, but you got to respect me. So it did. He ended it off calling him the B word. Everybody in the crowd, ooh, son, yeah, son. So what? I don't know. So then you go back to them actually talking with the guy, that tricky guy, and his grandson is rapping. It's horrible. I mean, it's horrible. But he said that he would give $250 million towards the takeover of Empire, the hostile takeover of Empire, and it costs $500 million to do it. He would give half of it if they just Empire Records would actually drop his grandson's album. Well, I don't know. For $250 million, I would sit there and be his hype man. I mean, shit, you could get me for a tenth of that, and I'd be that boy hype man. The coldest cats is baby. Oh, shit, I could do that. If any of y'all rappers want to pay me to be your hype man, I'm open to it. I can do it. They'll think you created the vaccine for polio after I finish hyping you up. So but that's neither here nor there. So they decided that the only thing that they really needed for um, the hostile takeover to work was for them to actually have a controversy with the CEO. So they needed some controversy between Lucius. So Cookie went to Vernon and asked, "Hey, Vernon, be real with me. Did Lucius kill Bucky?" Vernon pretty much said yes, and he explained why. He was trying to shake down Lucius. He ended up killing him, and he asked him where we went wrong. So Vernon decided to go talk to Andre and like, look, support your dad, be there to ring the bell for him at the New York Stock Exchange, you know, and they end up fighting. And because, Andre was being kind of disrespectful, so Vernon, by him being the uncle and raising him, he had to put them hands on him. And, they had a decent fight, but Vernon got that old man strength on him, and he was beating the dog snot out of him. And then Andre's wife came in and was like, dude, stop it, stop it. Then pick up a candle holder and whopped him in the back of his head and killed Vernon. And so Andre tried to get to the phone to call the ambulance, call the police, whatever. And she's like, no, I can't handle it. The stress would be too much. I'm pregnant. Wow. Yeah, next thing you know, Andre got on some sunglasses, him and his wife at the stock exchange. They waiting on Vernon. All three sons are there. They waiting on Vernon. It's like, well, I don't know where he at. And, Andre was like, well, maybe he fell off the wagon again. He's like, Lucius like, I don't know what you're talking about. Not in front of here, son. So they end up pressing a button and, ringing the bell. It's digital now, so you just need to press a button. No real Paul Revere bell and nothing like that. So, I mean, they sold the company went public. It's a beautiful thing. Then they just go ahead and fast forward to the concert that Cookie Lyons produced, and it's under her name. And you have some really good acts going, and they just doing the do. It's a beautiful thing. Everybody happy. You know, everything going well, and uh, Lucius actually revealed something to Jamal. He said, "My name is Dwight Walker. Your mama don't even know that, son." He explained this whole thing how he had to create that Lucius Lyon persona because he was an orphan at 9 years old and he needed to survive in the street. He was like, "Son, I love you, always have. I did some messed up things, but I've always loved you." And I start hearing that in the background. But before they can make it get really mushy and all that, special agents bust in and arrested Lucius for the murder of Bucky. And it happened before Lucius could even step on the stage for his own concert. And of course, he think Cookie sold him out because she was with the FBI and Vernon had trailed her. And she was like, "No, I didn't do it. I did 17 years for you." Lucius tell Jamal, "Look, do our song. You go out and do our song." So Jamal does a song that they practiced while they was at the old crib, and Patti LaBelle went out there and showed what real vocal talent sounded like. Sweet mercy, that woman can still sing. And while they were everybody had cell phones, so in the back people put them on World Star and things like that. And Becky comes and tell her, "Look, I hate to tell you this, but the stock prices are shooting down. They plummeting." And which is what was the point of the hostile takeover. You needed that controversy so the shares could be lower and you can buy more shares. You get the majority ownership, yada, yada, yada. Then you controlling interest. So the FBI was like, "Look, everybody's looking for Vernon." FBI agents say, "Hey, we need Vernon because he's our star witness. Cookie didn't sell him out. It was Vernon actually that sold him out." So great writing because Jamal accidentally helped his dad out. So at the end of the show, Lucius is sitting in jail and he's saying pretty much that he's immortal and that he's gonna be back. They can't keep him down. So I'm interested to see how they're gonna actually do the second season. I'm trying to think. Did Cookie actually say that she's never been with another guy, or did she say she's never been with another person? If she said that she never been with another guy, that made him 17 years in prison. You know, well, let's just say that maybe some guest appearances will come up. Somebody named Big Bertha and Guinevere or something like that. Some real some chicks about 6'5", 300 pounds. Maybe like 8% body fat to come visit her at Empire Records. I don't know. I'm just thinking out the box there. But yeah, it's really well written. Second season should be really excellent. And I'll watch it from now on. Hey, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Playtime Cares. Follow me on Facebook, Playtime Cares. Comment. Say what you think about the show. Tell me that I take too long. I already know I take too long. I talk a lot. I love talking. So, thank you for listening. Get at me whenever. Hit them comments, hit them likes. Let people know to come listen to what it is that I'm saying. Follow me forever. I'm always trying to do stuff.